All right, so I've been getting quite a few requests to help out with this assignment. So I'm going to show you this video and create this video so that we can all go through it together. We're working on positioning elements. So the first instruction says to fork this REPL. So I'm going to open up this REPL and I'm going to click on the fork button. And once we're there, I'm going to start editing. Okay. Now the instructions say that we're going to edit the bears.html document so that each section of the page has the width indicated by the heading and the comments. Remember that you should use the full screen preview on REPL, so that way we can see the entire thing. And right now, if I click run, this is the website that you saw in the other video. I use this button over here to the right so that we can use the full screen preview. Okay. This was the example. If you get stuck and you need to look back at something, all of that is on index.html. And you can follow how we used container and how we used rows and how we used text center or column -sm6. That's a half width, 50% width column. So you can use those as references on index.html. But like the instruction said, we are going to edit bears.html. So let's go into bears.html. And we are going to try to make this first section. Well, first, we're going to take this section up at the top with the big heading, and we're going to center the text. And we're going to center the text of these links too, so that they look similar to this right here. All right. So we're going to go into bears.html. We are going to look for the big heading that says center the text. Okay. And we're going to add the class names to that row. I guess the other thing that we should do before this is go up to the head and make sure that this link to the Bootstrap style sheet happens first. So I'm going to look at index.html and I'm going to look in the head, and for sake of time, I could just copy all of that in, hop back over to bears.html, and paste it all in. But I'll type it out so that you guys can type it out with me. Link relationship. The relationship is a style sheet. And the href, the hyperreference to that style sheet, this is the Bootstrap style sheet, which is named bootstrap.css, and it's in the CSS folder. So I'm going to say CSS/, that means open up this folder, and then look for the file called bootstrap.css, all lowercase because that's the name of our file here. Okay. After that, I would add the link to our other style sheet, style.css, and that's what's going to make the background green. So still style sheet, and the href to that one, or the hyperreference, is in the folder CSS, style.css. That, close angle bracket. And now if I run this again, and I open up more bear info, I should get a green background and some Bootstrap styling. I could tell the font slightly changed so my Bootstrap link is working now. Okay, I'm back in bears.html. We now have the heading done, or the header. So I'm going to minimize that, and I'm going to start looking at the body. Everything in Bootstrap should be contained by a container. So this first div goes from the very beginning body tag all the way until the end body tag. And this one right here, if I put in a little comment, close the container div, okay? But that means that at the top, I need to give this div the class of container. And if I come over here to the full screen preview and I hit refresh, what you'll notice now is that I have these margins on the left and the right. Okay, that's good. We're moving right along. All right, now let's work on centering this text. To center this text, I'm going to come in and make sure that this first section or this first division of my page is inside a row. So I'm going to give that class a row and click refresh, and you should see a very slight change. Okay, that changed, that's good. Inside that row, I'm going to make it a column so that everything in this row is one full column wide. And if I come over here and I refresh it, it lines that back up. That's good. And now I'm going to hit a space, and I'm going to give it a second styling class called text-center. So I'm going to style it as a column inside a row inside the container. This column is also going to get styled with this text center attribute, which if I look in the bootstrap.css, Control F, I could look for text-center, and it's saying, hey, text align center, make this important so that it's horizontally aligned. Great. You don't have to really worry about that. All you have to do is add the class inside those double quotes. Come back over here, hit refresh, and again I have this first section centered. The next section that I'm working on is section 2 or row 2. In this section, I want a 50-50 split. So I'm going to put this content on the left half and this content on the right half. If I look how it's set up, comment says the same thing, row 2, I want a 50-50 split. Well, if we're going to do a 50-50 split, we want to first put in a class of row. Okay, so we're going to put that a row, and then if this div is supposed to be 50% of the width of the page, I want 50% of 12 columns, which is 6 out of 12. Okay. So I'm going to use the class call-sm-6 because 6 is 50% of the 12 columns used in the Bootstrap framework. Okay. Close out that comment. And as soon as I add that, if I come over here, I should refresh, and I can now see that this piece is only 50% of the width. I still want to add the 50% width to that piece as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Inside this row, this div here was 50%. And now this div here, column-sm-6, should be 50% as well. So I'll go ahead and copy that comment and place it right there. Check to make sure it worked. And that looks beautiful. Okay, so I see that I have got a 50-50 split there. This next section, I want 3 equal columns. So I'm going to think about the first column, then the second column, then the third column. So we're going to try to find that third row And if I look for the comments, it should say row 3. The outer div is going to be the row div. Then the inner divs, I'm going to want, 1/3 of 12, or 33.33% of 12 is 4. So I'm going to use this class here, and I'm going to give it a column-sm-4, because 4 is 1/3 of 12. Come back over here, check that out, and now this section is 1/3 of the width of the page. These two still don't have any width property, so we have to go back and give them those classes. So I've closed my first div. Now I'm going to give my second one a call-sm-4. Close that one up. On line 88, call-sm-4. That's that one. Minimize this one. And we can see that this row has 3 divs in it, all with a call-sm-4 tag. When I come back to my full page preview, I can refresh the page, and I see that we've got 3 even columns. I kind of want this heading to be centered, and maybe this heading too. So I'm going to go ahead and go back and give each one of those header classes, the H2s, the class of text center. So here's my H2. I'm going to go class equals text-center, and that should center that section. The same thing at the top. Good, good, good. All right. Run that. Refresh here. Oops. Text center. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the final row. The final row should have 3 columns: a 25% width, so 25% of 12, a 50% width, so 50% of 12 for the image div, and then 25% width for this unordered list div at the end. All right. When you're working on that last row, remember, we have to start with the outer div as a row. Then the inner div is going to have a row of 25%. So 25% of 12 is something. And then the next one that holds just the image is going to be 50% of 12. And the last one, which is this unordered list, we're going to add the class for 25% of 12 again. So all you need to do to finish up Wednesday's work is add these classes for the final row. All right? And you should get something that looks similar to this, except with a 3 split.